It's not really breakfast time at the moment because it's 11:27, but I'm gonna make kind of like brunch breakfast with you guys while I talk about my GAMSAT. This breakfast, I'm just gonna go really simple and I'm just gonna make a French toast. Okay, so I don't know where to start. Let's just talk about my GAMSAT journey first. My GAMSAT journey has not been that easy. I think it's my first time actually talking about like my results from GAMSAT, so it's kind of nervous. So my last March sitting was my 4th GAMSAT sitting. I had to resit it again because my marks were not high enough, they weren't as competitive. Mind you, these scores are not 100% accurate because I'm like getting it out of my memory to see if I can remember, but it was along those lines. My first GAMSAT sitting, I didn't study for it. I didn't study for it at all, and kind of embarrassing, but I ended up getting a 59. My section 1 did not even make the 50 cutoff line, and the highest section that I got was section 2 from my memory. So I got that feeling of, wow, I actually do need to study now. And then I started studying for the second sitting. The second sitting, I did study quite hard, but I had that, ew. Guys, look at the banana. What's this? It's not rotten, but it's like seeds. What the? Anyways, where was I up to? Yeah, for the second sitting I did study for it, but it wasn't like I need to do really well because I kind of still had that 3rd sitting left that I could use without like taking another year. So I did study, but I didn't have any technique in studying. It was literally just studying dumb. I just did practice essays and all that. Yes, I got a 60, so that's 1 mark up than my past sitting. Not that much, but I was quite happy. Not happy, okay? I was quite relieved that at least it increased, showing me that, oh, maybe it will increase if I study a bit more. But it wasn't that big much of a change, so obviously I couldn't use that mark as well. So the 3rd sitting was where I actually studied really hard for it. I actually put in everything that I have. I wasn't too sure if I was studying the right way, like if my technique was right. I was partially still studying kind of dumb. I had this urge to do really well, but I didn't know what to do well. So the 3rd sitting came up and bam, that was a big improvement. I hit a 65. And my section 10, not my section 10, my section 2, the essay writing went up by 10 marks. So I hit a 74 for my essay, which is crazy. Like, I was actually quite happy with that mark. I did want an 80 because I studied so much for it. I did at least 1 essay a day, reviewed through my past writings, and then like change them and see where I could improve and all that. So I wasn't just like blindly writing, but I was also reviewing my own work and implementing like the new ideas and stuff into my new writing. I was kind of expecting for an 80, but obviously 80 is not an easy score that you can get. So I was satisfied, but I was not satisfied with my section 1, which is like reading comprehension for those who don't know GAMSAT. I did really bad. I think I got like 50. Guys, I got 52. Like 55. It was kind of like my given up section because I felt like I was going nowhere. Even if I study, it won't really help me that much. So I was like, oh, whatever, for section 1. And I knew that I had to work on my section 3. Section 3 was always a problem. I ended up getting like, just got 65 for section 3. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm improving. That's good. Every time I'm doing it, I'm improving by, you know, only just a little, but I'm still improving. So that gave me faith. And then obviously it wasn't a competitive score, so I decided to do others while I do my 4th GAMSAT sitting. And in my 4th GAMSAT sitting, I tried to change things up a little bit because I really thought I hit my best for my 3rd sitting, because I studied hard. I put everything into it, and I felt like if I study more than this, or if I study like for a longer time than this, would that increase my score? I wasn't too sure. It felt kind of hopeless at that point, being like, oh, I know that's the maximum that I can get. How can I try harder than I already have? It was a stressful moment. So I was like, what can I do to increase my score? And the answer was try a different technique. Because I've never really approached GAMSAT in a different way. It was always like the same. If my marks decrease because of this, then be it. Then this is not the technique. So I decided to kind of risk it. And I completely chose like different ways to approach questions. And even my essay, even though I got a really good mark, I was like, okay, let's just test it out. Let's just test new things out. So I started writing my essays differently. I also messaged people on Facebook GAMSAT group chats to see if I can join this study group. So I had a study group that I was working with, and we did like weekly catch-ups for essay writing, and then I would do like extra like section 3s with them or anything like that, like mock exams and all that. So this is probably the thing that you guys have been waiting for, which is my mark. I increased in 10 marks for section 1, which is crazy. You guys don't understand. I was not expecting a freaking 10 mark raise, obviously, because I kind of given up. But then obviously I kind of knew that I won't get a good mark in section 1, so I was like, holy shit, oh my gosh, 10 mark increase, triple. And then I ended up getting like a 74 for section 3. Was it a 74? 75? I don't remember. I'll put the score here. So that was my score. So I was like, damn, alright, maybe I can get somewhere now. But then my section 2 dropped by 10 marks, which got me so frustrated because I knew for a fact that I could have done well in section 2 if I didn't change my method of writing, for example. So that got me really pissed off. I ended up getting a final mark of 69 overall, unweighted. It was an alright mark. With my GPA for this year, hopefully it's a competitive mark that can get me an interview somewhere. But 69, it was not too bad. I was like, okay, I can work with that. At least I improved. So I went from a 59 to a 60 to a 65 and then a 69 on my fourth GAMSAT sitting. I will probably sit again for this September just in case I don't get an interview offer. Then I have to get a higher GAMSAT mark. I'm really grateful for it this time actually. I actually didn't study as hard as my third sitting. I don't think it's about how much time like you put into it, but it's more like the approach you take, or if that approach is like right for you. GAMSAT is a very long journey, and it's really emotionally tiring and physically tiring as well. I dream the day where I don't have to sit GAMSAT anymore. Hopefully that's gonna be very soon. But from this like journey of GAMSAT, like handling GAMSAT, it really got me to ask the question, like, do I really want to get into med this bad that I'm just gonna spend so much amount of money, because it's $500 per sitting. So at the moment I've spent over $2,000 with tutors and everything that I've done in the past, well over $3,000, maybe $4,000. And it really got me asking, do I really want med this bad? Is this really worth it? And the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of like, yeah, I think this is for me. Like, I really want to do med. So despite it's taking a long time, it really got me to ask the questions that I needed to ask. And yeah, it's a good journey, but hopefully it finishes soon. I also do get like, oh, how are people so smart when they do so well in the first go? But I decided like to stop comparing myself to them, and I'm trying to focus on just my journey. Yeah. Thanks guys for listening. I'll show you what food I'm eating after I finish cooking. The breakfast that I made today is a fruit bowl with honey, French toast with maple syrup, and a cold brew. Yeah, that's way too much sweet stuff for breakfast, but yummy. And I'm watching this new drama called Green Mothers Club. It's not too bad.